Hey guys, it's Claire here. Now, yesterday I posted something a bit tongue-in-cheek. I've posted it before on my page, which is a post about the 7 types of difficult clients. Have a look back in my feed if you want to have a look at it. It always gets a lot of laughs. But on a more serious note, I do, when I post that, which I've done a few times in the past, get some comments from people saying, well, that's all well and good. And, we all have a bit of a laugh about the types of difficult clients that we all see in our design businesses. But what do we actually do when we come across these difficult clients? Can we deal with them? How do we deal with them? And all of that sort of thing. So today I wanted to just share a couple of tips about that. And it all, in my opinion, comes down to something that I talk all the time with my coaching clients about, and that is about your role as a leader of your clients. So client leadership, basically. And what I mean by that is that you have to take a leadership role when you are working with your clients, so that things like being texted on Sunday afternoons from the cushion shop, or being called at all hours of the day, and all of these things that can happen with design clients don't happen, because you set really clear boundaries, you set really clear expectations, and as a result of that, you don't really end up in these sort of difficult situations with clients where they can just overrun design projects and just basically make your life pretty miserable. So a couple of tips from me about how to go about your client leadership. One of the first things that I suggest is your onboarding process. And so I help my coaching clients walk through a really careful way of onboarding design clients. This involves having a client welcome pack, and in your client welcome pack you can detail out things around your communication policies, your hours of working, how you prefer to be communicated with. So text message, phone calls. You don't like to take phone calls at certain times of day. You don't text on weekends. When you answer emails, how long it would take for you to typically respond to an email, all of those sorts of things, so that it's all laid out up front and there's no sort of guesswork around when you're meant to be coming back to someone or whatever that might be. So that's the first thing. The way you onboard, the way you set expectations from the start is really important. Another thing that's really important is what is detailed out in your client agreement. So this would be the place where a lot of the stuff that you sort of summarize in your client welcome pack would be all detailed out in detail in your client agreement. So the client agreement's a little bit more important when difficult clients turn into really, really difficult clients. And in many cases, your difficult clients will just be something that you sort of tolerate and hopefully won't happen if you lead them quite well. But sometimes we do actually need to get rid of clients. And so our client agreement is what we will lean on in that situation. And so you will want to have all of the details of how you like to work and all of your sort of really clear policies and directives inside your client agreement. A lot of people piece together client agreements themselves. They find stuff on the internet and put them together themselves. I strongly recommend you don't do that. My solicitor, who works with me and who works with many, many of my clients and students, also strongly recommends that you don't do that. The only day where it's going to matter that you have a really good client agreement that's been put together by a lawyer for your business and your purposes is on the day that you really need it. So typically when my solicitor looks at client agreements that people might have pieced together themselves, thinking that they've done the right thing by sort of trying to piecemeal something together so at least they've got something, the problem is that there's no clauses in there, or the clauses relate to the wrong laws around the world, or whatever it might be. So definitely make sure you've got a really good client agreement, but also definitely make sure you've spent some money on getting a solicitor to put that together for you. Feel free to reach out to me if you would like some contact details there, and I'd be very happy to put you in contact with Dari. So that's that. So client leadership, onboarding, having things detailed out into your client agreement. And then basically the other things are really about how you manage and run the projects with your clients as they move through. And one of the big tips I can give you there is over communication. So communicate way more with your clients than you think you need to. Again, with my coaching clients, I teach them to put together a Friday email that they send out to their clients every single week. It has an update of all the things that are happening in the project, where everything's up to, what needs to be done, who needs to be doing what's been held up, if there's any problems, all of those sorts of things. We've got a template in the coaching course that they use to do that. And that Simple Friday email just helps all clients to feel like you are on top of the project, most importantly. And also it just is a great sort of piece of documentation that helps to really have everybody on the same page about where everything's up to, where there might be things that are, people are holding up, or there's issues in the project or whatever it might be. So that's one example of like just over communicating. Make sure when you go to site visits or have meetings on the phone with clients that you always document everything down in writing. This will just protect you a little bit more from the risk of like things that are agreed on phone calls that then there's no paper trail for. So just get into a really good discipline of writing a quick summary, a quick email, and shooting it to your client if you've had a site meeting, if you've had a phone call about what was agreed, and those sorts of things as well. So over communication is another way, again, to sort of help keep your clients in a little box so that things don't get out of control, and it helps really, really to manage some of those more difficult clients. So that was just a few little quick tips for you about handling difficult clients. The fact of the matter is we are all going to run into one or more of the 7 types of difficult clients that I talked about yesterday in the sort of fun post that I popped up. So we do need to learn how to work with them. We aren't going to get on perfectly with every single client. That's just not going to happen. But as long as we put things in clear sort of boundaries, and we do a really solid job of leading our clients and being the person in control of the project and not letting the client become the person in control of the project, that goes a long way towards helping you to maintain your sanity and also to manage your clients. So I hope that helps. A couple of tips there. So the way you onboard your clients is really important. The client agreement and having that all of your policies and things really clearly documented in there, and then overly communicating throughout the entire journey of a client working with you are just some of the ways that you can combat difficult clients and just sort of keep on top of a project and keep things moving forward without it becoming abrasive or combative or anything else with a slightly difficult client. Hopefully there's a few ideas in there that were helpful for you, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.